Let's look at 22. So I was saying that those other ones that had kind of an ancient or tribal feel to them, that could go well with this. I have so many, I love this. And it just does so much for me. It has a Picasso feel. So if you wanted to do a Picasso kind of manicure, it would have a Picasso feel. It has almost a skull feel, so you could do something Halloweenish or Day of the Dead-ish. It also has an ancient sort of tribal feel to it, especially this one here has an almost kind of Mayan or Aztec feel to it. So you could do all of those cool things with all of these different cool areas. And then you've got some neat patterns that go along the sides that could do any kind of splodgy thing, or you could do sort of half and half. You get part of the face and part of the splodge, more of a crisscross trellis pattern, and then you've got some foliage over here, and then just all kinds of cool swirls and just textural elements that you could do so much with. And I think this is one of the coolest collage style images I've ever seen. Just end of story. All right, this one definitely has more of a native feel to it. You got some circles and some diamonds and skulls, which I always love. You can never have too many skulls, in my opinion. Daisies, and this could be hills with trees behind it. It could be water. It could be all kinds of things. I love this with the paws and the kitties and the puppies, and it's like the puppies watching the kitty, and that's my house right there. They always have their eye on each other, and they're always trying to outdo each other. I love that. It's adorable. Little stars going up. You could do it this way across your nail. You could do it this way across your nail. You could do it this way across your nail. That would be a beautiful accent nail if you just wanted something simple with just this one accent nail. This reminds me of like clouds or steam. Mount Rushmore. How awesome is that? Especially if you were going on a trip to Mount Rushmore. You could do that up one nail, or you could maybe even do like one main face per nail. Very cool. This reminds me of boxing. You could, let me actually put it back up. I'm so excited about these plates. I'm looking at them and not paying any attention to whether or not they're actually on camera. All right, so that's the Mount Rushmore one. And then this one reminds me of a boxing one, or it could be a big statue with a face. This looks both like almost kind of like fleur-de-lis, but then it looks like cards, you know, like diamonds and hearts and spades, and this is great background image kind of stuff. I love it. This chick is, she's smoking a cigarette or anything else that you want to have her smoke. I don't know what you're talking about. No knowledge of anything like that, but you know, whatever. She does have kind of, would that be 70s kind of hairstyle and glasses. So if you wanted to go kind of a, she's not exactly hippie, but you know what I'm trying to say, maybe. And then here we've got apples and mouths and diamonds and little faces. I'm not quite sure what that one is. I got to admit, that's not really my kind of thing. But this one here is, how beautiful is she with her hair just falling everywhere. And all right, plate 23. This one is just, you've got this beautiful tree of roses coming up. You've got this really elegant detailed pattern. You could, and then, oh, look at this. This looks like hair to me, like just hair that's falling all over the side, and beautiful ruffles. But you could have it be anything that you wanted it to be. It could be, you know, parts of a tree. It could be leaves. So, and you can play and get part of this. You could isolate each of these patterns. You could blend them together. I like that you can get this tree going up. You can get it going over, all different kinds of ways on your nail. And then there's plenty here. This is the kind of thing, again, that reminds me of Christmas. So for some reason, this looks to me like holly. Maybe I just like everything to look like Christmas. I don't know. But you could certainly get a beautiful pattern going across your nails that pulls from the different area instead of just having the same pattern over and over again. Gears, I love that. You know, just throw some gears on it, call it steampunk. And then this is snowflakes and some leaves. And this looks like it could be little drops of water or anything else that occurs to you. Leaves with little berries and little ladybugs and little daisy kind of flowers. Let me get that in focus hopefully for you. And another flower pattern that you could you know, make this go any way you want it on your nails. Pretty flower, oh, beautiful Art Deco kind of flourish. Vines and leaves and little thistle-y flowers, but a little bit more stylized. And then we've got the, let me see if I can get that. I think there, all right. Another geometric pattern, and then this whimsical kind of flower. You could lead like that. That would be really cool. And an elegant flourish. And I like this with the little hearts intertwined. That's pretty cool. And then the almost medallion kind of look. And then on to our last one, 24. And here we've got very paisley sort of feel to it. And you could, I mean, look, that alone, you could cover your nail just with that if you wanted to. Or you could pull out some paisley, or you could just do some swirls, or you could combine, have that on one nail, that on another, that on another, or you could pull where you're getting, you know, two different ones here, play around with it. All right, and then down here we've got, it almost looks like a sea theme. So we've got an anchor and starfish and some little sea anemones, and this looks like it could be coral. I guess you could also make it into other kinds of things, even a tree if you wanted it to be. Sunflowers, starfish, a pretty rose, or maybe you could even, especially if you just got that, you could make it a graphic lettuce or cabbage if you're a gardener. A little bit more flourish, some flower. Pass, not pass, if you're a teacher. That's great. I like the pass, and then there's the question mark. Never quite sure. This could be clouds, or, I mean, thought bubbles. Obviously, if you wanted to go for a Magritte feel, you could have your clouds in the background be thought bubbles, and I might just have to do that. Rose, and then more of a comic graphic design kind of feel to a flower pattern. I love this church or city hall, or you could make it part of a Christmas village if you wanted to do that. Lots of stuff you can do with that one. A different flower made of a more dot pattern, that would be really easy to decorate if you're new to nail art, to be able to use that to guide some dots and make some flowers. Cool geometric with your circles and squares. And this says, looks like it says Summer Days, which, especially if you're doing kind of a retro 70s feel, like where was that girl that was smoking that cigarette? I just feel like those two go together somehow, the summer days and the girl smoking the cigarette. And then a beautiful pattern that would be great for lead lighting that almost looks like a stained glass picture. Okay, so there are all of the plates in this collection. And let me show you a standard Conad plate along with this. I will link down below a comparison chart for you that will give you the exact dimensions, but this will give you a quick eyeball to know how big these images are. So if you have problems, some people have problems and Conad doesn't quite fit their nails, these are about a third bigger, maybe, and in both directions, or maybe about a quarter bigger. So it gives you a little bit more play. So if Conad isn't quite big enough, these should work. If Conad is really too small for you, then you want to check the dimensions on this as well. I'm back with the stamping test. For the test, I used Wet n Wild Black Cream, which is a pretty common, I think, black polish to test with. Okay, so for plate 19, I stamped the couple on the motorbike, the Velo, and I love the fact that the girl's in front, so take that. And here I stamped the little beans. The lines are a little bit, they aren't perfect, but I also waited a second longer, and since the lines on this one are pretty darn good, I think that was just me moving a little slowly. And then this one here you can see stamped nicely, and doesn't get much better than that, folks, so that's beautiful. Did I just use the word folks? Let's pretend that didn't happen. Alright, for this is plate 20. We've got, I did the bow and the summer fashion, and so you can see that did well. I did the purses there, beautiful. I looked up lorem ipsum, and that is a term apparently in the printing industry for when you put in meaningless text. are meaningless words when you're testing out, I guess, a different font or whatever in your printing. So you just put in nonsense words so that the person will be distracted by the meaning of the word, and that's what lorem ipsum refers to. So I'm not sure if they just made a mistake there, or if that's meant to be ironic, because, you know, like, I don't know, but when I was a teenager, I was throwing a lot of meaningless words up on the telephone for lots of hours. Anyway, so here's what the stamping looks like. Again, I was pretty impressed that the full areas stamped fine, and the letters came out good, and then our little sewing notion thing here also pretty good. So there, we've all learned something, or maybe you already knew that, but I learned something today. Lorem ipsum. So for plate 21, we've got this little duplicate of that area here. That's just gorgeous. Couldn't come out any better. Same thing with the dots. And okay, so this guy right here, I've said that sometimes when you have big areas that need to be filled, sometimes you can have issues. You have to be careful how you scrape them. So I got a blank spot here, a blank spot there. I wanted to make sure that that was just how I had scraped it, so I scraped it from a different direction, and I still have a little bit of a one, but that tells me that it's possible, and you just want to be careful with ones like this. But I mean, that's the same with any design from any plate that has a big wide area. It's not due to this particular brand of plates. This particular brand of plate is stamping just beautifully. All right, 22, I took this from this little area over here, and you can see that it came out well. I did my guy over here that I like. Beautiful, strong, bold areas. I stamped that the wrong way and got a little bit squishy with it, because like I say, I'm not fully used to stamping directly down onto paper. This is my first time trying this method. With her, the same thing. Since this is such a big area, you're going to want to be careful how you scrape her. That's why I got a little bit of a blank spot here. And then, like I say again, that's not the fault of this plate. That's just any design like that. You have to be careful, and sometimes you have to play around with it to make sure you can get it without that bald area. Plate 23, I took design from up here. Then this one, I mean, that's just as crisp as can be. Absolutely beautiful. Ladybugs and the flowers. And then for my last one on this plate, those hearts there. And then last plate is 24. So I wanted to take from this paisley. Now this was actually the very first plate that I stamped with at all, and both of the sets, the yellow and the red. And like I said, this is my first time stamping straight down, so there's a little bit, it looks like there's a little bit of squooshing. That is not the fault of the design. The design stamps well, you can see. That's just my over-aggressive stamping on a surface I'm not normally used to. Here's the coral, and you can see already I'm getting a little bit better with the not getting the squoosh. The design is beautiful. I did have a little bit of squoosh here on the pass, so I did it a second time just to show you that that is my squooshing. That's not them. And then here is the geometric design. All right, if you have any questions at all my stills and everything will be on the blog. Stills of the plates, stills of the stamping test will be on the blog. Links and everything are down there. Any questions, let me know. Thanks for watching.